would like to start by thanking everybody that's joining us on the webinar. We're doing our first joint webinar with our partner Geotab. A little bit about Connixt. We are a mobile-based application designed solely for mechanics and technicians. We focus on making their job easier. Our company has been around for coming up on 10 years now, based in Cerritos, California, but we also have people scattered around the country too, like myself. I'm in North Carolina. We are joined today by Bradley Quinn, who is the Channel Engagement Manager with Geotab. We are joined by Prabhu Ekabaram, who is our co-founder and CTO from Connixt, and myself. I'm the Director of Sales with Connixt. What we want to do is go through a relatively brief presentation where Brad and Prabhu will be showing you the slides and explaining Connixt and how we interact with Geotab. With that said, we're going to start off with Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. Now, from the overall landscape, right? When we give it, when we take trucking industry as a whole, that is the landscape that we have identified, in which Geotab takes care of certain sections of this landscape, and then iMarq covers certain sections. And we have joined our hands together to make the user life better. Having said that, Brad, you want to take this?
Sure. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for allowing me to be here. So I'd like to start off talking about Geotab. The Geotab marketplace is part of the Geotab ecosystem. And this ecosystem is made up of integrated telematics related products and services, which enable Geotab users to extend the value of the data. In doing so, our partners are able to use this data to provide better solutions for their customers. A few key areas within the marketplace are fleet management, driver tracking, telematics, hardware, routing and dispatch, fuel tracking, reporting, and asset tracking. And we're very fortunate to have Connixt iMarq as one of our partners in the marketplace to assist with several of these areas.
Thank you, Brad. And iMarq as a product, like Jeff mentioned already, it's a cloud mobile solution. And we are hosted out of Microsoft Azure, and all our apps are native apps. And again, from the product perspective, we take care of, or we handle maintenance portion of it, warehouse management, parts and inventory, and reporting. Now, when it comes to warehouse management and parts and inventory, it goes hand in hand. Reporting, we do custom reports for our customers with the DOT reporting and all those things. Whereas when it comes to integration with the Geotab itself, right, maintenance kicks in, where we will go over the use case in a moment, specific use cases that we did with Geotab, but from the maintenance perspective, we get all the information of that asset from Geotab and then do some actionable telematics. Brad?
Thank you. So who is Geotab? Well, Geotab is a leading provider of telematics in the world. We have over 47,000 customers. We have 3.5 million subscribers, and we're in 150 plus countries. We collect more data than any other telematics provider, to the tune of over 55 billion data points per day. Plus, our data is cleaner and more robust than any of our competitors. This results in our partners and their customers being able to make better decisions. Geotab is a hub, if you will, for data. We provide end-to-end fleet management solutions by transforming that data into AI-powered analytics and insights. By analyzing the data, our partners are able to look and give fleet managers, dispatchers, and shop foremen a bird's eye view into their fleet. They can see things such as vehicle location, estimated time to arrive at the receiver, current DTCs or engine codes for the vehicles, the closest fuel stop, and many others. Geotab's platform is easily integrated and provides a user with other tools and marketplace solutions all at their fingertips. So, how do we do this? Next slide, please. Geotab uses our Go9 and Go9 Plus devices to glean data from all types of vehicles, from passenger vehicles and light duty trucks all the way up to Class 8 trucks. Also, We gather data from many types of specialty vehicles, such as garbage trucks, concrete trucks, and others. The types of data gathered range from vehicle location and speed, the engine fault codes or DTCs. There's also an accelerometer and gyro in the Go9, which provides such data as harsh driving, harsh braking, harsh cornering, near miss collision, driver hours of service. And with the addition of a camera, we can also monitor driver behaviors and send driver alerts. The possibilities are almost endless. This data is then transferred to the cloud, where our partners such as Connixt, iMarq, download the data to assist fleets in simplifying their maintenance processes. Prabhu.
Thank you, Brad. Now, Connixt as a company, right? Our product is called iMarq. Our company is Connixt. We are here since 2014, a decade's worth of experience. And again, like I mentioned earlier, it's a cloud mobile solution, and our apps are native apps to make the user's life better. Now, on an average, 50,000 transactions, more than 50,000 transactions flows through our product. And we have customers everywhere. When I say everywhere, we have customers out of Canada, we have customers out of Middle East, US, and across customers, across verticals. Again, like I mentioned, more than 50,000 transactions flows through our product per month. And the product is also built to be scalable, right? In the sense where we have won lots of awards from our customers with emphasis on user experience and scalability. Now, having said that, what we do, right? How iMarq can be used. Now, again, like I mentioned earlier, we will go over the use case that we have implemented with Geotab, but iMarq as a product can be configured to digitize everything. When I say digitize everything, your inspections, your maintenance, parts consumed during a maintenance task, if there is an incident report that needs to be reported from the field, or a service request, any type of maintenance task that needs to be digitized, you can go ahead and configure our product. In a simple terms, if there is a sheet of paper that you use today, that can be digitized. Not only that, it is also flexible, right? It is configurable in the sense where we don't want to reinvent the wheel from the forms perspective, from the processes perspective. Now, whatever forms that you use today, that would have got approved from DOT and a Department of Transportation, and you would have implemented the process in place, right? We come in and then we configure your processes and your forms in our system, and then we digitize. Not only digitize it, we also store it in our system so that you can run analytics on top of it. Reporting and analytics, right? Which is a key item. Like, for example, you can run reports like, hey, show me for this specific truck, how many times, or what was the mileage when the last, brake pads were replaced, or how frequently the tires were replaced. Things like that can be run. So the data that we are collecting using our mobile app is also stored in the cloud, on top of which the analytics can be run. And you can go live in weeks, literally in weeks, like 4 to 6 weeks, we will be able to, make you live. The reason is the product is configurable. We work with you on understanding your forms, we implement it, and then we let the users to play with it. And then on top of it, we go ahead and do enough user acceptance testing, and we release the app. So you can go ahead and go live in weeks. And when it comes to integrations, right, it's a seamless integration. We follow an open architecture where there are a set of APIs using which we can not only connect with Geotab, but also connect with your existing EAM environment, like Trimble, Maximo, any EAM software out there. We will be able to connect with your existing EAM system. And end of the day, we are talking about enriching data. The data that you are collecting, that your users are collecting from the field is enriched, is accurate. Like, for example, there is an image, say a user wants to report on an oil leak, right? They can take a picture of that engine compartment. Not only just take a picture, they can go ahead and write on that picture saying that, hey, check this section of the engine compartment and the oil leak is starting from here, right? Like below the oil filter, which is a typical place where the engine oil leak starts. So again, enrich the data that is being collected from the field. To cut the long story short, iMarq can be configured for any type of data collection from the field, especially from the maintenance perspective. Now, having said that, we emphasize on enriching the data, quality of data that is collected from the field. At the same time, make it easy for the users, which is a key aspect we always emphasize on, in the sense where, say, there is a comment that needs to be entered, right, using our app. What they can do is, there is a speech to text option where when the keyboard comes up, they click on a mic, the user talks to the app, and then the app types it for him. So there is a speech to text option so that the user doesn't need to use the keyboard. Like I mentioned earlier, photos and annotations, right? Like they can take a photo or select a photo from the album, not just upload an image. They can go and write on top of the image, highlighting the issue. They can even upload audio recordings where it is helpful, knocking noise of an engine, humming noise, rattling noise, things like that can be uploaded. We also have a measure capability using LiDAR technology where, if you want to measure the distance between point A and point B, you can go ahead and use our app, our iOS app for that. And we also do mapping and routing, right? In the sense where the data that we are collecting from Geotab, not only the mileage and other information that we collect, we also get the latitude and longitude. Based on that, we can put the pins in the map view and show the tasks based on a geographical representation, right? So we can do that. Like I mentioned earlier, we can customize your forms, we can configure your forms as is, we can add validations. Mileage field, only numbers can be entered. If there is a field that needs validation, which is required, mandatory, we can just configure our solution to go ahead and make those requirements or the fields mandatory just by a configuration. And our solution is role-based. Now, if there is a user who's a mechanic who does the job, he'll see like create, update, and change, right? Or create, update, and view. Whereas if he or she is a supervisor, they'll see approval also. So there is a manager role, there is a supervisor role, there is a maintenance a mechanic role. So it's role-based. The product is role-based and it can be configured. On top of it, we can also generate PDF reports in your own format. When we say your own format, DOT specific formats we can go ahead and generate out of our product, so that once inspection is done, say A service or a B service or a C service, you can take a printout which is exactly in the format that you wanted, that you can present it to a auditor, DOT auditor, right? So again, we do all this to make the life of the user easier. Not only that, the data that is getting collected from the field is accurate enough for the backend system to consume. Having said that, let me go to the next slide. Now, when it comes to iMarq and Geotab together, we actually, the end result is actionable telematics. When I say actionable telematics, the use cases that we are talking here is, of course, there is the CMMS integration we can always do, EAM integration, but on top of it, we can grab the mileage of that specific asset from Geotab's layer and then auto create work orders for you, like PM work orders. Every 20K, create a A service or a B service or a C service work order, and it gets assigned to a user so that the inspection is done on time, so that the supervisor or the manager or the mechanic, right, they don't need to remember things on when an inspection needs to be done. We take care of those automation and we go ahead and create a work order based on the data we get from Geotab. Not only that, we can also create repair orders, right? Which is, Geotab is capable of giving us the engine light, if it is on, and the description of that fault itself, right? So based on that, we can go ahead and create repair orders. And if we can configure the system in such a way that if the issue is so big, we can red flag a specific asset, right? So things like that can be done. And the next use case that I want to emphasize on is basically, DVIR. We do DVIR integration with Geotab, where when a DVIR is done in Geotab, and if there are issues that are recorded in DVIR, we go ahead and grab it, right? And then present it to a user so that it gets fixed. And once it gets fixed, we go back and update Geotab saying that, hey, there was an issue recorded in this DVIR and now it is fixed. And here is the associated details of it, right? It could be pictures and comments, right? So we can go ahead and do that too. On top of it, they can also, take a printout of that work order from our system or from Geotab. So there is a closed loop integration that we do where issue is reported in DVR and we grab it, maintain it, go back and update Geotab with the appropriate statuses. Now, last but not the least, we basically track the asset, right? When I say track the asset, like I mentioned earlier, right? Like I mentioned earlier, we can go ahead and use the latitude and longitude of that specific asset and then, locate it in a map and show, hey, the truck is right here at this location. They have reported an issue where, the tire has burst. So you have to go to this location, right? So you can send a dispatch team to fix that issue. So based on Geotab's latitude and longitude, we are able to locate the exact location of that asset at any given point of time on a real-time basis. So overall, use cases are we can auto-create PM work orders, automate the repair orders, DVR-based maintenance we can do. On top of it, we can track the asset and then show the tasks geographically. Now, end of the day, Brad, I would like you to jump in on this. The most expensive commodity is, right, time. Now, once you lose this 1 second, you cannot get it back. You can spend millions of dollars. You cannot get the time back. But Brad is going to add some pointers to it. Brad?
So this is awesome, right? We've figured out how to automate the whole maintenance stream, feed it back into my Geotab so that everybody has the information they need in real time. Why does this make sense? Well, as Prabhu mentioned, time is money, right? When we can save time, we save money. These streamlined processes reduce the time required to complete the work. This time reduction results in a cost savings for the company. Now, we all know that there are still organizations who do their maintenance on paper, right? And you hear phrases like, I'm old school, why do we need this? We hear this quite often, but these automated systems save time and money, but they also ensure that the people who need the information get that information as quick as possible. Again, saving time for the organization results in cost savings. So as we look at this whole package, what we're saying boils down to this. Reduced time results in increased drive time. Increased drive time equals more miles driven for the driver, which means more money in the driver's pockets, right? They're happy. Increased drive time also equals more load capacity. Increased load capacity results in increased revenue. So now the company's happy. So in short, iMarq plus Geotab is more money for everyone. And that makes sense. Prabhu?
Thank you, Brad. Now, how does the integration work, or where we fit in, right? Now we sit in the middle, we talk to Geotab, and then we store it in the cloud, do the necessary, actionable steps by creating work orders and, repair orders and DVR-based orders so that the maintenance can be done, which can be accessed by the field crew. And not only that, your executives and managers can use iMarq's website if it has to go through an approval process. If the DOT reporting needs to be done, a work order, code and create it. It has to be assigned to a specific technician. That can be done by the executives or the managers or the supervisors from using our website. And not only that, we can connect, integrate with other external systems. Like if we want to push this PM work orders information into your EAM system, we can do that out of the box. We connect with Trimble, Maximo, Trapeze. There is a list of EAMs we connect with. So we can go ahead and integrate with other applications of your choice. Now, having said that, that's a bird's eye view or a sample of how the product will look like or product looks like, in the sense where as soon as the user logs in, they are going to see this home screen. And like I mentioned earlier, based on the role the user is performing, these modules and transactions gets loaded. Now, in this case, the My Work Queue will have all the tasks that are created based on the signal from Geotab. And then when the user clicks on the My Work Queue, it goes to a list screen where, see, for example, there is a C inspection that needs to be done for this specific mileage for that specific truck, right? So like that, we can go ahead and auto create work orders. Now, for some reason, if the user wants to know the real-time data of that specific asset, they can click on this icon, which loads a pop-up, which shows the additional information of that specific asset. Now, out of the box, we bring in latitude, longitude, engine light, fuel levels, and things like that. Whereas during the implementation time, if you want to see more data, we can go ahead and configure the system accordingly. Not only that, from this view itself, you will be able to locate that asset by clicking on this map or get to the Geotab app itself right from here. So there will be a seamless transfer between Geotab app and our own app, because Geotab app provides even more information when it comes to trips and all those things, right? So you can click on app and go to the Geotab app, or click on the web and go to the Geotab web. So there is a seamless integration between apps. Not only that, the key value addition is we can auto create tasks based on the information that we are getting from Geotab. On top of it, based on the latitude and longitude, like I mentioned earlier, we can go ahead and show a map view, right? Something like this. So if you notice in this screen, there is this list view, which is this one, whereas there is this map view, right? That is nothing but this map view where, if say, for example, my current location is somewhere here, it will clearly show these are all the tasks that you need to perform as a user. And the number that you see there are the number of tasks that needs to be performed. And when you click on that specific number there, it comes with a pop-up. Using get directions, you can get to that location and then do the necessary task that is required. Now, this is enabled based on the latitude and longitude that we grab from Geotab. Going back to the use cases itself, auto creating PM work orders, auto creating repair work orders, DVAR based maintenance, and also on top of it, track the asset based on the latitude and longitude. This is again, out of the box, all these use cases are available. Now, during the implementation time, if a customer needs a specific use case, we can go ahead and configure the system accordingly. Hope that covers at least from the integration and use case perspective. Now, when it comes to deployment itself, right? Again, like we mentioned earlier, you can deploy, you can go live in 4 weeks in a typical straightforward scenario where we get your forms, processes, we configure it, customizations will be done related to PDF reports and all those things. Integration configurations will be done, which is integration with the Geotab. In fact, within 2 weeks, your users can start playing with our app, with the forms and all those things. And within 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, in all practical purposes, we can make you live. So it's a configurable solution that can be rolled out in weeks. Jeff?
Awesome. Thank you, Prabhu and Bradley. That was really, really great. At this time, we would like to open up the floor for any questions that anybody may have. One question that we've had come in is how easy is the application for older mechanics, and how easy is it for mechanics and technicians to use on tablets on the shop floor? Prabhu? Okay.
So with our current, again, our apps are native apps. It is pretty straightforward. Our record is with our other customers, there will be 90% adoption, 95% adoption as soon as we start implementing the app. It is that easy. It is self-explanatory. And also, you work with your own forms and processes. See, that's the key there. See, as of today, if you have a sheet of paper and you say, hey, check brakes, and then if it has some instructions to it, we will be able to configure those wordings exactly to match so that the user can understand it, and also attach work instructions along with it. And also, when it comes to data entry, like I mentioned earlier, they don't need to use the keyboard all the time. They can go ahead and talk to the app, enter the comments. Or when it comes to mileage, they put the cursor on the text field, only numeric keyboard shows up. So things like that are inbuilt into application, makes the life of the user easier. And our apps are native apps, so that the user experience will be far, far better when it comes to uploading images and audio files. Jeff?
Awesome. Okay, so we also have a question that says, how will we get the data from the trucks to the Geotab app? Is there an integration?
Brad, you want to take it up?
Sure. So we have the Go 9 and Go 9 Plus devices, which I've mentioned previous. Those are installed in the truck. They capture all the data. That data then gets uploaded to the cloud where it's actually captured by Connixt. And then you take that data, integrate through the integration, and use that data to do their maintenance into their application.
Awesome. Also, there's a question, can you provide real life examples of how this is being used?
One real life use case that I can tell is, which I touched upon that earlier. We go ahead and auto create PM work orders every 20K of that truck. Say, for example, they are at a 40K right now. And when it hits 60K, since we are, tracking the mileage of that specific truck, once it crosses the 60K, we go ahead and create a PM work order. But from the system's perspective, we will know what was the previous service that was done, whether it is A, B, or C. This specific customer does A, B, and C. So if they have done a B service, we will automatically create a work order for a C service and then assign that appropriate form to that work order. When I say form, the data points that they need to check, right? Now, in some cases, again, this is again for one of our other customer where it can be mileage based forms also. So again, for customer A, it is like for A, B, C, they use the same form, which is again approved by DOT. Whereas for one other customer, Los Angeles Metro, they have mileage based inspection forms. Like based on the mileage, the number of checkpoints that they do will increase, right? So we go ahead and auto create those work orders, assign those inspection forms automatically, and assign it to a specific group of users. So that we do today with one of our customers. And then as part of phase 2, we are also working on creating a maintenance work order based on the engine light and that failure description. So those are all the real life use cases. And we are also in process of implementing the DVAR based work order. So the use cases that I mentioned earlier, we have already implemented with some of our customers. Jeff.
Thank you. Also, there's a question that came in. Is there an optimal fleet size? And I can answer that. So typically, fleet sizes range from anywhere from 50 to thousands of assets. The product iMarq is very scalable, so it can start small, and as the company grows, or as your fleet grows, assets grow, we can scale along to that. We are a bolt-on the Geotab solution, so it works seamlessly and very well with the Geotab. I'm sorry. So will this integrate with our backend EAM or CMMS, Prabhu?
Yeah, it's a big yes to that question. So like I mentioned earlier, we have an open architecture where we have a set of open APIs using which you can connect if you want us to, or we can work with your EAM system's middleware and then integrate accordingly. In the sense, say if there is a work order that gets created in your EAM system, it can be posted using our APIs, and we can go back and update that work order using the standard APIs that comes with the EAM itself. So yes, we can integrate with your existing environment. It could be an EAM, it could be a standard EAM like Trapeze or Maximo or Trimble or EAMs like those. Or if it is a homegrown system, as long as there is an API available, we can go ahead and integrate with it. Or if you want us to create an API to connect with your homegrown system, database-based homegrown system, we can do that too.
Thank you. There's also a question came in, are there predictive maintenance analytics available? Yes.
In fact, to elaborate on this specific point, Jeff, note down from whom that question has come in. We can go ahead and have a session with them to show the reporting and analytics that we do, extensive reporting and analytics that we do. So the answer is yes.
Awesome. So it's 2:30 Eastern. I don't want to run over our time because I know everybody has blocked off 30 minutes. So if there's a couple more questions in the queue. What we will do is we'll get back to everybody and answer everybody's question in a very timely manner. If anyone on the call wants to see a live demo or configured demo, then please reach out to me at your convenience, and we can set up a time to do a demo. Prabhu, do you have any other thoughts, or Bradley?
No, I'm good. Again, thanks for attending. Thanks to all. And again, the recording of this session will be available. And like Jeff mentioned, we will close loop with you on other answers. Brad?
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. This is a very neat solution. It does what it's supposed to do, and we're excited that they are part of the Geotab ecosystem. So thank you.
Thank you. So I do want to address one more question that came in that comes up a lot is how is this going to affect our IT department? And this is an extremely important question. So I do want to address that very quickly. We've worked with IT departments with one person up to a huge IT department. One of the requirements for one of our initial customers was that they do have a small IT department, and they said they cannot afford for that person to be spread out in a lot of time on this project. At the end of the project, that person has told me repeatedly that it took them 4 to 6 hours of her time total. And the deployment takes generally 4 to 6 weeks. And so 4 to 6 hours total of her time that she had to involve basically for opening APIs, answering a few questions and things like that. So I did want to address that as well. Again, if there's any other questions, we will take them from the chat. We apologize if we weren't able to answer your question, but I will get back with you as soon as possible. Reach out to me. You should have my contact information. Reach out to me for more information to set up demos and things like that. But again, thank you everybody for joining us. We went over a couple of minutes in time, but everybody have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again very soon.
Thank you.